So when I speak of different places in Delhi, this may help you relate to it. Okla is here, and the picture that I just showed you was this Yamuna bridge, and this is where the DDA building is, and these are the power plants. So Yamuna in Delhi is actually 52 kilometers. So there is 26-kilometer upstretch of the Wazirabad barrage, and there is about 4 kilometers down stretch of the Okla barrage in south. And it occupies a planning zone within the Delhi Development Authority master plan, which is called as Zone O. And we have often said that it is not Zone 0. Please don't convert it into Zone 0. It occupies 9,700 hectares. And this I have already spoken. Next, please. Now, coming to why healthy rivers are really needed all over, especially in cities. You know, till the 1950s, which is after independence, drinking water was taken directly from the river for South Delhi. Now, today, no one can imagine this. You will puke if someone were to say, we will take out drinking water from Okla area. Then sailing regattas were held. Swimming competitions were very common in the city. Wrestling akhadas were all along the banks. All the Delhi water bodies, Baulis and wells, because there was a time when the drinking water of Delhi was actually accessed from the wells and Baulis and not from the river. They were full of utilizable water. And then ghats in Delhi were, you see, today, a lot of people living in Delhi do not even know that there are 32 traditional ghats, actually dating, some say, from the Mahabharata era in Delhi. And one of them, which is very famous, which is called as the Nigambodh Ghat, is a mythological ghat, because it's as the story goes, Lord Brahma had forgotten all about the Vedas, as he had lost memory. And it was at this ghat, when he took a dip in the Yamuna, all the Vedas came back to him. So the Nigambodh Ghat, which is today more famous as the major crematoria in the city, is actually a mythological ghat. And then next, slightly down, yeah. And there was so much till the 40s and the 50s. You could see a lot of biodiversity in this river, and a lot of food was grown. And so, you see, a river is not just water. A river doesn't just provide water. A river provides so many things. Its banks are beautiful. It's a place for meditation, for solace. So a healthy city needs a healthy river in all its manifestations. And that's the reason why we need a healthy river in not just in Delhi, but any other city. Next, please. And also the fact is that this river, as bad it is in Delhi, is not really as bad everywhere. And that is what brings the hope. So let me just
we are not able to hear you.
Is it?
We can hear.
No, we can. I can hear clearly.
The voice was clear. Manoj sir, continue.
Voice
please.
is clear. Yeah.
Maybe
Okay.
it was at your end.
Okay. So let me take you down on a trip down the river. Next, please. Okay, this is the Yamuna basin. And for a river, this is actually a very different or a unique basin, which all the planners in Delhi or anywhere else should have always kept in mind. You see, this has an inverted basin. Normally what happens is, for a river, the founder basin is a bigger area, which then brings lots of water from all the tributaries to the main stem river. Whereas here, the founder basin is very, very small. And it is later in the life of the river that it has a huge basin in Madhya Pradesh area. Whereas in Uttarakhand and in Himachal, which is the founder basin, it has a very small basin. And then there is a chicken neck here. And then this is Delhi. So Delhi comes almost 172 kilometers is here and 200 kilometers. So almost 400 kilometers downstream of the Yamunotri, where the Yamuna originates. And as you can see, till Yamuna meets Chambal, at this point in Bhare, there is no major tributary to this river for almost 500 kilometers. Now, this other point, that there is no major tributary of the river, should also have been taken into consideration by all the different planners. Now, next, please. Now, this is the Bandar Pooch glacier from where Yamuna originates. There is a kund called as Saptrishi Kund, which is the source here. Next, please. This is Yamunotri, and as you can see the cascading Yamuna coming down from the Saptrishi Kund, and then it flows by this temple and downstream. Next, please. Now, even today, this is the Yamuna at just 40 kilometers downstream of Yamunotri. And this is as natural or as beautiful a river as any can be anywhere in the world. It still is, just like this. Next, please. This is at the same village, Kharadi. This is Yamuna astride a turtle, whereas Ganga and Yamuna, they are considered as sister rivers. Ganga is astride a crocodile. Yamuna is astride a turtle. That's the belief. Next, please. Now, at the chicken and neck, which I showed you, this is what has been done. A barrage has been created at a place called as Hatni Kund in Haryana, which is the Haryana and UP border. And the river is almost 99% of the river is diverted at this point. So this is the Western Yamuna Canal, this is the Eastern Yamuna Canal, and downstream of the barrage, this is the state of affairs. So actually, there is no Yamuna in Delhi as such. Yamuna is already gone 200 kilometers upstream of Delhi at this barrage. Next, please. And as a result of that diversion, what you find in the original Yamuna bed is this kind of a river bed. At Karnal, except during the monsoon period, when there is so much water in the river that the Hatni Kund barrage cannot hold it, so the entire river then flows just like it used to. But this is the situation downstream of Hatni Kund at Karnal. This is the situation further downstream in Panipat, and this is the situation further downstream in Sonipat. Next, please. And this is Delhi. I showed you previously what the state is. This is the state of the Yamuna in Agra, a tourist capital of India. You can see Taj Mahal there. And this is the kind of Yamuna that we often find there. Next, please. Now, this is where Yamuna meets Chambal at a village called as Bhare. And I don't need to quiz anyone to tell me which is Yamuna and which is Chambal. It's so clear here with the quality of the water. This is Yamuna, and obviously this is Chambal. And even the birds know it, that which is a better place to be in. But after this, I'll just show you what happens. Next, please. This is a place called as Pachnada, where 5 rivers meet. This is Yamuna, Chambal, then Pahuj, Kuwari, and Sindh. These are 5 rivers which meet, and they revive Yamuna like anything. This is again a lovely, beautiful river to be. Next, please. And this is the Yamuna in Allahabad, Prayagraj. And this is much bigger river than Ganga when they meet. And it has always been because of the kind of basin that it is. Because so much water comes to Yamuna from MP and Rajasthan area that it actually provides almost the double of water to Ganga. But you see, look at the beauty of this river and of many other rivers, that despite meeting a much larger river, they are willing to lose themselves totally. It becomes Ganga. It is no longer called as Yamuna. And that's the beauty of our rivers, that we have no qualms in losing ourselves totally to a more well-known or a more respectable entity. Now, next. Now let me come to specifically to the river in Delhi. And next, please. Now this, in 1858, this is a picture from, it's a drawing from London, the Illustrated London News from 1858. And you know, Yamuna used to dominate the landscape. As you can clearly see, Yamuna was, Delhi came where it is because of the Yamuna. It is not the other way around. And this was the walled city, Jahanabad, and Shahjahanabad. And this was the Yamuna. This was a bridge of boats. And what we now have, the ring road, was one of the different channels of the river. So when we go on the ring road, let us recall that it was once a river channel. This is the Salimgarh Fort. This is, of course, the Lal Killa. And yeah, next, please. And I'm sorry, this picture is somehow. So this was the, see, when I transferred this, I think something has happened. So again, from this map, we can see how the river dominated the landscape. This is a map from 1893. And the river was the main physical feature. river and uh, the Aravalis, that is the ridge. Next, please. And see, we have always made this point to whoever we have interacted with, that river, what we know as River Yamuna in Delhi, is just one of the Yamuna. There are actually 202 Yamunas in Delhi. And because Delhi is an undulating terrain, thanks to the ridge, and there are 201 natural rains which actually originates from Delhi and enters the River Yamuna. And so we have to as much focus on the health of each and every one of these 201 drains, जिनको कि आजकल हम गंदा नाला कहते हैं, which are all these nalas and drain in our city. So until unless their health is equally improved, the health of the Yamuna in Delhi can never improve. And this is true of any other city with a river. So when we think of rejuvenating, restoring our river in any city, please look at the entire system of that river. Look at all tributaries, because it is the basin that constitutes the river. River is just the end point. We have whatever happens in Delhi, and that's the reason why we call that river mirrors the city. Whatever good or bad happens in the city will sooner or later reach the river. आप कुछ भी करिए, anything either in form of liquid or in form of solid will ultimately reach the river. So we have to be very conscious of this fact. And that's the reason why the river is the societal mirror. Next, please. Now, but what has happened, and more so since independence, because when the British left, they still left us a river from where we could draw water for drinking. But what we have done, we have neglected, abused, and turned it into a dead river. And this is through a process. First, we robbed the river of its flow. Second, we made the river captive. Then we polluted it, we dumped it. And if all that was not enough, then we have invaded it. Next, please. I'll show you how. Now, in 1994, there was a agreement on sharing of Yamuna waters, which was presided over the then Union Minister of Water Resources. And at Tajewala Barrage, which is now the Hatnikund Barrage, all the water of Yamuna, as I showed you, was allocated amongst all the different states. UP, Haryana, HP. UP is now also UP and Uttarakhand, Delhi, Rajasthan. And only 160 cusac, which is just about 7-8 cubic, was left in the river for biodiversity. Now, there could not have been a bigger joke played with this river, because this water, it actually the river bed soaks it just about 10-15 kilometers downstream of the barrage, and they left it for biodiversity. Imagine. So this is how we robbed the Yamuna. Fortunately, this agreement is coming up for renewal in 2024. And hopefully, we have been making this point time and again, that when this is renewed, let us keep a healthy river first, and then share all the water that we can take out. There is a thumb rule for a healthy river, and this thumb rule is applicable all over the world. That if you want a healthy river and you have some dependence on the river for its water, then if you allow 70% of the flow in the river and take away 30%, the river will remain healthy. But if the dependence is too high, then initially at least, you can go till 50%, 50-50. Let 50% be in the river and 50% you can take out, and gradually you can reduce your dependence. But today the fact is that at Hathni Kund, we are removing 99% of the water. So obviously we cannot have a healthy river downstream. Next. Now this is Hathni Kund. Again, this is the next piece. And as a result, what has happened over a period of time since the 1960s, this is the water over that decade that has flowed in the river. So in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and the first decade, you can see there has been a gradual reduction of the water in the river. Next, please. And then what we have done, we have made the river captive within the city. So these marginal bunds that we have created on either side. On the west, we have the ring road. On the east, we have the eastern marginal bund, which is now called as the Noida Link Road. And we have squeezed the river within these two marginal bunds and taken away its floodplain. And then also created these 3 barrages. So further diverted the water within the river and further created 13 pseudo bridges. And we are creating more bridges over this river within this just 22-kilometer stretch. And I'll tell you why I call them pseudo bridge little later. So this is the other thing that we have done. Next, please. So see, this is even today, this is the river upstream of Wazirabad Barrage. What a free river actually should be like. And what a captive river is. This is the Wazirabad Barrage, and this is the river downstream of it. The fact is that this water that you are seeing in the river is actually the Delhi's allocation. So this is not the original river water. This is the water which was diverted at Hathni Kund, taken through a canal, the Western Yamuna Canal, and then again put back into the river as Delhi's share at Palla village in Delhi. So while it looks like a living river here, but this is again, this all water is sucked away by Delhi because this is the drinking water share of Delhi. And what you are seeing this here is not a drop of Yamuna is here. It is Yamuna, yes, part of it is Yamuna, but Yamuna that I have used within my system and within my home. So this is the waste water from the city. So in the 22-kilometer stretch, what you see as Yamuna is actually the wastewater, which is a mix of sewage and industrial effluents. and the runoff from the city. Next. So this is how we have polluted it. Almost 3,500 MLD of sewage and 218 MLD of industrial effluents enter the Yamuna, so-called Yamuna, every day. Next. This is the most polluting drain of this river, which is called as the Najavgarh drain. And as I told you, all these were tributaries of the Yamuna. This was the Sahibi River. And look at who will call it a river today. It is how can we as a society, as someone who are so critically dependent on the river, do this to our lifeline? This is the Najavgarh drain, and this we have told to face to face with Lieutenant Governor, to President of India, to whoever, that every moment this is a clear violation of the law of the land. Every moment, because the Section 24A of the Water Act, Water Pollution Act, says no person shall knowingly cause or permit any poisonous, noxious, or polluting matter as per the standards to enter directly or indirectly into any stream or well. So this is the law of the land. But you can see what is happening. And we have the Central Pollution Control Board, we have the State Pollution Control Board, we have the DPCC and whatnot. Next, please. And if that was not enough, you see, whenever anything used to happen in the city, any construction or any demolition, all the debris used to be coolly dumped in the riverbed. And we went to NGT and filed a case. Then under NGT's direction, 20,000 truckloads of debris was physically removed from the riverbed. And then, of course, there were other many restrictions which are put, that no debris can be put, or no not polluting solid matter can be put into the river. Next, please. This is what was, this is the Yamuna riverbed in Delhi. You can see. This is how it has happened, and this is the process of the removal when it was being done. Next. And then we invaded. You see, we squeezed the river within the two banks. And if that was not enough, we further went into the riverbed. Next. This is what we have done. You see, these are the two embankments, and within this, all the reds are already gone of the floodplain. And all these structures have been created by the state. And they are all sitting within the floodplain, within the riverbed. So, and we have Delhi Development Authority, the first ever such authority created for any city in independent India. And this is what they have done. And we as society have allowed them to do it. Next, please. The first such thing, the major thing, was the Asiad. Now, these structures, the stadium, and this was called as the indoor velodrome. And there is another very interesting structure here. I'll just show you the picture of this. This was the players' hostel created for Asia in the river bed. And it was never occupied. For 15 long years, Didier did not know what to do with it. And ultimately what they did. Next, please. Look at this. This is the players' hostel, which today is the Secretariat of Delhi government. Delhi government is sitting right in the heart of the river. This is our planning. You have the most well-planned architects and planners in the country. This is the result. Next, please. So now, coming to why this is the same picture, but I have just zoomed out. Why I call these all these bridges as pseudo bridges. You know, when you build a bridge, what is the purpose of the bridge? Purpose of the bridge is that when the river is in flood or even otherwise, you can safely move over the river. That is the purpose of the bridge. So when you construct a bridge, the bridge should be from one end to the other end. But all the bridges that we have constructed in independent India are only over the low flow season portion. The rest are all elevated cross bunds, access roads within the. So the bridge portion is only over this. So what we have done is we have actually divided the river stretch into different kind of sections through these bridges. The purpose of bridge is not to divide the river, but that is what we have done. So, and we went to the Yamuna Standing Committee with this when Metro was constructing its own bridges. And we humbly submitted to Metro authorities. We said, please create bridges by all means, but please create true bridges. Don't create pseudo bridges. And thankfully, they have acceded to our request. And later on, all the metro bridges that are now coming up are true bridges. Next, please. Now, I'll just show you how we have invaded the river. This is a picture from 2000. This is the eastern marginal bund. This is the ring road. And this structure that you can see coming up is the beginning of Akshardham. And Akshardham at that point very well knew that they were in the river. So they asked DDA to construct an advanced bund to save them from the floods. So this was created to safeguard Akshardham. Next, please. Now, in 2004, this advanced bund has come up. There is another bund which has come up. Akshardham has been secured, but still, these lands are there. Next, please. By 2008, 2010, this is what has happened. This entire area has been excised away from the river. This is Akshardham. This is Commonwealth Games Village. And these are the facilities for the players. And not just this, the metro. You know, the Yamuna Bank Metro Depot and station are bang in the river. When we went to the High Court and we later to Supreme Court. And we said, sir, why these structures have been allowed in the river? You know, these authorities in the court said, we are not in the river. Now, if they are not in the river, then I don't know who is in the river. But now, at that time, we also told them, see, you are building this without realizing the consequences of this. And when we met the Lieutenant Governor, Mr. Khanna, Tejendra Khanna, at that time, sometime in 2009, and we told him, sir, 2010 is the Commonwealth Games. And the decadal flood in River Yamuna for the first decade of 21st century has not yet come. Imagine, and the flood in the river in Yamuna comes in the month of September, August, September. Imagine if the flood comes in September 2010. What will happen? He said, pray. We never prayed. But what happened? Next, please. That is exactly what happened. It is not a result of our prayers. But decadal flood had to come. This is Akshardham. This is the Commonwealth Games village. This is a bus depot that they raised. And this is the metro structures. The water was all around. Now, who can say you are not in the river? River is not just the lean season stretch. River is actually the highest flood line. That is the river. Next, please. And now, if all this was not enough, this is the latest disease, river disease in town, riverfront development. Left, right, and center, our rivers are being destroyed. Our rivers their floodplains are being destroyed in the name of riverfront. Now, we always had riverfronts in the name of our ghats. But we don't have to import these fancy ideas from rivers which are very unlike our rivers. We are monsoonal rivers. They are, for them, in Thames, for them, the rain is every third, fourth day affair. For our rain is only a 3-month affair. We are very different rivers. Next, please. But now, what is the solution? There, your role also comes into play. 2nd and 3rd April 2020, the entire country is in lockdown. And we receive a video which I could not believe when I first saw it. And I could not believe this is Yamuna in Delhi. And the person who sent me the video said, sir, I have taken this video. Something magical happened in 2nd or 3rd April. And this continued for almost a month. And what was that? Next, please. See, we all who are in Delhi saw this river. Our river had come back. But what had happened? 2 things had happened. There was zero industrial effluent entering the river because all industrial activity had come to standstill. And the second thing that had happened was that as a result of good western disturbance rainfall in the catchment of the river in Uttarakhand and Himachal in late March and early April, there was good flow in the river. And because that water was not really needed to be diverted because all our activities are at a standstill. So a lot of that water was actually allowed to flow in the river, and it came to death. So on 2nd and 3rd of April, we found this kind of a river. I had not anticipated that I will see this kind of river, at least in my lifetime. So this is how the river spoke. It said, if you can just ensure that all our industries will become zero liquid discharge. That's the fundamental thing, because even now, at this point of time in April, all our sewage was still entering the river. Sewage was still there. The only thing was that industrial effluent was zero. And the second thing was flow. So these two things, if we can, as a society, ensure that not a single drop of industrial effluent will enter our rivers, and our rivers will have reasonably good flow. 70-30, if not 70-30, at least 50-50. We can have healthy rivers. Next, please. Now, this is very popular in the industry today. Environmental, social, and corporate governance. And we all talk in terms of values-based investing. Now, this is extremely important. And when we say value, it is not value addition as such through our investments. It is more about our human values. Whether within my industry, how much I am environmentally conscious, aware, and implementing those things. How much am I aware of social equity issues, social impact issues? So how much, when I set up an industry, how much I forget the government regulations, how much I am conscious of this fact that what is going to be the environmental impact footprint of my industry? What is going to be the social footprint of my industry? And whether the kind of governance that I'm doing within my own setup, is it environmentally friendly for my people, for my own staff members, and people who are related, in contact with my industry, and within my own society? What is the kind of society that I'm creating within my own setup? I think these two things are very, very important. And then comes this whole corporate social responsibility thing into effect, where I go out and then make my contribution in a responsible manner. So we have to start charity begins at home. So let me look inwards कि मेरा अपना सेटअप जो है वो कितना ESG है. पहले उसको मैं ESG बनाऊं अपने सेटअप को, और फिर मैं CSR में जाऊं. This is, and there is although at that time when we tried this, this was not very popular or not in place. When the Commonwealth Games village was in the construction, it was the tenders were floated by DDA. There were about 8 different builders in the city who had shown interest. And we wrote a personal letter to all these builders. We said, please take a very conscious decision, and we request you that this is happening in the river. And this is not good for the city, not for the river. So we request you, please do not participate. And we had no idea whether they will hear us. But believe me, when the tenders were received, only 1.5 tender was received by DDA. And the only tender which actually then was passed was a overseas tender of Imar MGF, who built the rest was, I think it was Ansal or somebody else who submitted only half a tender, and obviously it was rejected. So what I'm trying to say is, when we always blame the government is doing something wrong, but government doesn't build. It is you and me who build. It is the industry, it is the real estate people who build. So if we know and we are conscious that this is a wrong thing that the government is trying, let us not participate. I know it may be at a cost, because there are always people who would come and do that dirty job. But let us have values. Let us do values-based investment. Next, please. Now, see, this is even today. This is a part of the Yamuna where you still have this kind of water. This is the flood water sitting in Yamuna, and the kids are enjoying it. And do you know what the MCD plans for this land is? They plan to have a landfill here. They plan to have a waste to energy plant here. Now, how can you actually even dream of doing such a thing? And we went to NGT on this. Fortunately, it was stopped. But how does this kind of a planning come? And even the NEERI said that this is not floodplain. Now, if this is not floodplain, then what is floodplain? Please tell me. And this is NEERI, government department, who is saying this. So ultimately, it is people like you who would make the difference. अगर आपको मालूम पड़ता है कि भाई गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट्स कुछ भी रॉन्ग और राइट कहें, but if your people can actually find out the fact, then हमको कोर्ट में जाने में कोई मजा नहीं आता है. किसी को कोर्ट में जाने में कोई मजा नहीं आता है. क्यों हम जाएं? Next, please. Now, this is an opportunity. I told you there are 202 Yamunas in Delhi. This is one of them. This is the Barapula Nala. And this is the original Barapula. और देखिए क्या हालत है इस बारापूला की. This is a heritage structure. और इस heritage structure को क्या हालत कर दी है हमने. इसके ऊपर हमने elevated बारापूला वो बना दिया है, हाईवे अपना फ्लाईवे. बट इसकी किसको चिंता है? So if, as an industrialist, if I have under my CSR or even otherwise, if I could, or few of us together, come together and adopt this drain, the Barapula drain. And when I say adopt, I adopt not just the Barapula structure, but not just the main stem, but the entire Barapula system. Because Barapula drain has its own tributaries, all those nalas. And then say, okay, within next 10 years, we are not saying do it overnight. Within next 10 years, we will make this healthy. Now, if industrialists were to come forward, not just in Delhi, but all over in all such cities where you have a lifeline river, and adopt these drains. And there are a lot of really sincere planners whom you can get on board, who would give you excellent advice for making these, rejuvenating these and making them healthy. Because that's how the Yamuna will become healthy. Yamuna में सिर्फ हम गए और कुछ पॉलीथीन वहां से हटा दिया और फोटो खिंचा ली, उससे यमुना हेल्दी नहीं बन सकती है. यमुना हेल्दी तभी बनेगी जब ये healthy होगा. Next, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sorry
Thank
if
you
I have-
so much.
I have taken more time than.
No, not at all. I think it was really captivating and riveting lecture. I really did not know the amount of information you have shared with us.
Yes.
On why the Yamuna is the way it is. I think we never really understood the true scale of the problem till we have seen the and then the possibility also. I think thank you for giving us very specific actionables too, which can help possibly reverse some of this. We have questions. So would you be okay with picking a few of the questions?
Oh,
and
please,
answering?
sure.
Yeah.
I would love to.
So Gupta Bodaji is asking, where did the Environment Ministry go wrong?
You see, at one point of time, I was part of the Environment Ministry. It is not the ministry that has gone wrong. It is us who have gone wrong. Our greed has taken over us. We have all the rules and regulation, laws, everything in place. But when the environment minister of the country tweets saying this, that I'm very happy to inform the nation that the National Board for Wildlife has cleared this road through this national park. Now, you see, how can the environment ministry, who is being appointed to become the safeguard of the environment of this country, tweet in this language? I'm saying I've signed a death sentence for the river or for the national park, and I'm very proudly sharing it as the environment minister. So when the environment minister does like this, what would babus do? Poor babus are just they are trying to safeguard their seats, their chair. So environment ministry क्या करे? अगर the entire mindset of the governance as such has become so convoluted. ठीक है, no one is saying कि development नहीं होना चाहिए, बिल्कुल होना चाहिए, but safeguards को तो सामने रखिए ना. You have the EIA notification with you. Now the environment ministry wants to dilute the EIA notification. Now this is not environment ministry's job. Environment ministry has to defend its EIA notification, because that is what is required. आज हम climate change चिल्ला रहे हैं सब जगह. किस लिए चिल्ला रहे हैं? Because our wrong decisions in the past have created this Frankenstein. We have created it. So environment ministry, when you say babus, I wouldn't blame them. Minister, yes, but today even the minister, poor minister, क्या करेगा? I'm sorry to say that. Yeah.
There are two questions which I will ask together only. Sunita Sindhani wants to know what actions have been taken to remedy the situation. Rajiv Sikkaji wants to know, is there any hope, and more so in our lifetime, which may be next 20-30 years?
You see, the Yamuna spoke. Yamuna gave the hope in April 2020. Yes. देखिए, you come from the industry, and it is not difficult for the industry to make itself ZLD, zero liquid discharge, because during one of my presentation, one person stood up and said, "Sir, I run a sugar mill. Sugar is one of the most polluting industries. He said, sir, I run a sugar mill and not a drop of water leaves my premises. So if a sugar industrialist can do this, then every other industrialist can do it. और आपको pollution control boards को देखने की जरूरत नहीं है कि वो क्या कर रहे हैं क्या नहीं कर रहे हैं. आपको अपने अंदर देखने की जरूरत है. Because it is very much doable. अगर एक इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट कर सकता है तो हर अदर इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट कर सकता है. So that is one. The second is, of course, our water. We have lost all respect for water. हम पानी को बिल्कुल we have no qualms in wasting water, in abusing water, उसको गंदा करने में हमको कोई वो नहीं होता, प्रॉब्लम नहीं होती. We have to become not just we, हमारे आसपास जितने लोग हैं, हमारे बच्चे, हमारे सब, we have to bring back our respect for water. And we have to insist, we have to reduce our water intake. तभी तो नदियों में पानी वापस जाएगा, तभी तो नदियों में फ्लो वापस जाएगा. We have to insist on the authorities कि भाई flow has to be there. And of course, भाई Delhi has the highest capacity as far as the sewerage system and the sewage treatment infrastructure goes. But do you know, out of 40 odd sewage treatment plants in Delhi, only 10 are meeting their standards. Why? Because we as a society is not making them accountable. We are not making the Delhi Jal Board accountable. Delhi Jal Board is actually a culprit. It is committing, as I told you, it is violating Water Act every moment. So, हम MCD अभी इलेक्शन होने वाले हैं, MCD के इलेक्शन होने वाले हैं. Now, where are these issues? ये जरूर कहते हैं यमुना ठीक कर देंगे, यमुना ठीक कर देंगे. They keep on shifting the goalpost. पहले 2000 था, 2010 हुआ, फिर 2018 हो गया, 2015, 25 हो गया. मुख्यमंत्री जी कहते हैं अरविंद is a friend of mine. हम तो we started together as activists. अरविंद कहता है 2500 में डुबकी लगाऊंगा. मैंने अरविंद को बोला तू कभी डुबकी नहीं लगा सकता. So ये जो है, these are so there is hope. I'm not, maybe in my own lifetime Yamuna will not revive, but river is one. It's a natural ecosystem. You just let it be and it will take care of itself.
In fact, I have a related question. Shyam Bala's son, he wants to know what happened to the rupees 570 crore towards the pollution-free Yamuna by 2025 project. Has corruption become an important element in such initiatives?
Thank you for asking this question. Let me correct your figure first. Since 1994, when Yamuna Action Plan first phase 1 started, we have spent more than 7,000 crores in the name of cleaning the river Yamuna. And yes, we have created sewage treatment plants. We have created more sewerage infrastructure in the city using part of that money. But sewerage and sewer, you see, there is no link between sewer and river. A sewer is a urbanization challenge. Sewer is not a river challenge. सीवर तो रिवर में कभी गिरता ही नहीं था, वो तो हमने क्रिएट किया सीवर. पहले कहाँ सीवर होता था? पहले तो हमारे टॉयलेट सिस्टम से डिफरेंट थे. जब से हमने अपने टॉयलेट सिस्टम्स चेंज किए और सीवरेज इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बनाना शुरू किया और बहाना शुरू किया, तभी से तो ये होना शुरू हुआ है. आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि ये सब नहीं होना चाहिए, बट ऑल दैट मनी should have gone in looking after all the 201 Yamunas in Delhi, not just in creating these sewage treatment plants. Yes, आप उसको urban development में रखिए, उसको river development में मत ले आइए, please. So all that money has been utilized in that name. Some improved toilets have been created, which no one knows where they are. Some ghats have been created, which again require repair every other year. And that's it. Now, second thing that you have spoken about, corruption. हमको मालूम है करप्शन इंडेक्स में हमारा दुनिया में कौन सा नंबर है? I don't have to tell you that. We are a thoroughly corrupt society. We have become really, it is so sad to admit it and to say it. But despite all the tall claims, despite all the actions that we have taken, and I'm not just blaming the politicians. Who are politicians? Politicians are people we elect. We are politicians. We are thoroughly corrupt. Yeah.
I think, yeah, all of us, I think we should be looking inwards rather than outward when we ask these questions. Very relevant. Manzar wants to know, made a very relevant point. He feels that we must not patch up the dump that is created by wrong governance, but CSR must be used to fund a body that asks questions to the government, ensures strong governance. Would you agree with that?
100%. You see, we have a wonderful act with us, the so-called RTI, Right to Information. And if we can set up a body which is focused just on RTI, use RTI, make the government accountable through such a powerful act, and don't let the government dilute RTI, because today everything is dilute this act, dilute that act. There is a big agenda to dilute whatever we have today in terms of the existing legislations. That's what we should be trying, not allowing dilution of the existing infrastructure, institutions, and using them to the fullest. So I would suggest, please create a CSR fund. Wonderful. And one of the activities of that CSR fund may be help the existing RTI people and create a RTI institution, which puts the government in the dock. You know, the RTI says that all the government departments will have a website and all their activities will be on the website. पर आप जाइए गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट्स की वेबसाइट में, they hide more than they reveal. उनके यहाँ क्या होता है, इसका प्रमोशन हो गया, उसका प्रमोशन हो गया. अरे भाई, इससे मेरे को क्या लेना देना है कि किसको तुमने प्रमोट कर दिया, किसको नहीं कर दिया, कौन रिटायर हो गया और कौन नहीं हुआ. This is what you find on the government department RTIs, websites. आपकी मीटिंग हुई, इस मीटिंग के मिनट्स क्या है वो आपके उसमें नहीं मिलेंगे। वो मिनट्स आप क्यों नहीं पब्लिक करते हो अपने आप? यू हैव टू फाइल ए RTI एप्लीकेशन टू गेट ए मिनट्स। उसमें वो 10 वो लगाएंगे कि ये नहीं है और वो नहीं है और यहाँ से एग्जम्प्ट है और वहाँ से एग्जम्प्ट है। सो एज पार्ट ऑफ CSR, if we can really focus on the RTI, strengthening it, you would make this government hugely accountable.
Arya, Mittal ji has a question. Is it possible to make a circular canal for all these nalas and industry waste, treat it and then drop it into the Yamuna?
You see, that is a very engineering solution. And most of you are engineers, so I don't blame you. Yes, and this was thought, but it might help for us to look at a clean Yamuna in Delhi. But you would still have all those dirty 201 Yamunas in Delhi. See, it is an ecological system, and an ecological system has an ecological solution. An ecological system cannot have an engineering solution. See, all these are very engineering solutions. ठीक है, आपने एक नाला बना दिया जिसने सबको रोक लिया, है ना? बट वो जो नाले हैं जो कि ओरिजिनल नदियां हैं, वो तो बेचारे फिर गंदे के गंदे ही रहेंगे ना। वो तो आपके बगल में आपके एयर कंडीशनर को खराब करते ही रहेंगे ना। उनकी तो कोई चिंता नहीं करेगा अगर ये सर्कुलर वो बन गया, नाला बन गया। So these are stopgap solutions. Yes, they are a solution, but they are stopgap solutions. They are not ecological solutions.
Rajiv Sikkaji, I think I will close off with this question or point. Rajiv Sikkaji says previous generations were better when they used to worship rivers, and that was the reason these rivers look like they are from the mythological era. You mentioned little hope in next 20-30 years, but with people like you around, I mean, it's a matter of gives a sense of immense hope that the country has people like you who are willing to give up everything and fight for this. So thank you for the effort you put into these initiatives. Really, I think
thank you so much
all
for saying
of us
so.
From all of us, heartfelt thanks.
Thank you so much.
I would now invite Mr. Arya to say a few words.
Good morning, everybody, and a special good morning to Manoj ji for enlightening us on a very relevant subject. We live around Yamuna, and we always care about it. And then that was fantastic session, Manoj ji, and it was very informative and captivating. And few. I will just say about Bala, few words. I know Bala ever since 1998. We are a family, still a family. Uma, Bala, Shri Ram, everybody is a family. And then whole CIOs of India family for me. But yes, and thank you, Kamal, for organizing such a wonderful sessions each year on this occasion. That's a real tribute to Bala, our founder president. And yes, a few things about Yamuna again. Yes, Manojji, in fact, we should all work on it, actually. It's our responsibility, the citizen responsibility also.
Exactly.
To work on it, and we are with you. And please do let us know how and what we can do together. And I think CIOs of India have very good people like Rajiv, Sikka, Sunil, everybody, Banjar, so enthusiastic in participating in everything. I saw them, their participation during COVID also, really genuine and from the poor heart gonna people. So we will all can say work with you, and then definitely we will make Yamuna neat and clean. And one thing I will say, I think a center government should take this project in their hand and work on it. And I always, I think while I was in London, so I always dreamed that it should remain like a Thames for us and give us a clean water. And this 22-kilometer stretch, which is the worst, should be the best, I think. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aryaji. In fact, I actually had a point to make, because one of the things which, when we worship the rivers, one of the problems which we have is the amount of religious waste also that we put into the river. So maybe some sensitization on that, how to build sensitivity or alternate ways of disposal of religious waste also, I think would be a great opportunity to look at. I would now request Mr. Mittal if he could say a few words. You're muted, please. You're still muted, Mittalji. Mittalji still muted. Yeah. No.
Now okay. Now okay.
Okay. Thank you, Annie, for inviting me to say a few words. Yeah, the relationship with Bala and CIOs of India was very strong to me, very close to my heart. And I have seen the whole team of CIOs of India in past and the current team working besides the technological areas. They are working in the social areas also. And this is one subject, no doubt. It is a concern to each and every one of us to do something in this regard. Mr. Arya has already spoken about it. I'll be very happy, Manoj Mishra ji. I have put up a question for making the canal. So thank you for giving me the answer. But Manoj ji, what I was having in mind is not a centralized treatment of this wastage. It is a decentralized treatment of the wastage and then putting into the canal, then further doing the treatment and finally putting into the River Yamuna. That was my idea behind this. I do not know how it is possible and what role we people can play in this. We'll be very happy to associate with this movement and do our things. Thank you very much for such a benefiting lecture to us. It was really an eye-opening for all of us. Thank you very much, Manoj ji.
Thank you, Mittalji. Now may I request Kamal Karnatak to take forward word with the vote of thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Annie. So thanks, Mr. Manoj Mishra, for this enlightening lecture today. We all know the importance of rivers. Thanks for showing us the history, geography, and societal aspect of River Yamuna. We came to know how important the existence of river in for all of us. Most often people don't realize the impact that rivers have on the living world till the time they are getting the water through their tap. Because as in this social media generation, rivers or these kind of nature, they work silently. They are not equipped with social media to keep showcasing their work, which nowadays entire world is showing. Even if they are not doing, they are showing it on the social media. But it is the responsibility of we people that we bring this aspect in the social media and create awareness, especially for the next generation, how important those rivers are, how important those mountains are. I remember the first lecture by Professor Shekhar Pathak, where he showed the importance of Himalayas for all of us, not only for the people who are living in the Himalayas, but also for the people who are living in the cities. So, and personally also, I have been fascinated by the river Ganga and Yamuna. I remember when I visited Yamunotri long back, I saw a small stream coming from the peak, and I could not believe that this small stream will become a mighty Yamuna. Another reflection came to me when I was part of an Abhiyaan called Ascot Arakot Abhiyaan, and after 40 days of Yatra, when we were nearing the completion at Arakot, which is near Himachal, we saw a small river called Pabbar, which comes from Himachal. And I came to know that this is the river which makes Yamuna a mighty Yamuna, We had a bath there as we were tired. So same Pabbar River meets Yamuna and makes Yamuna a mighty Yamuna. So these things are very important, that we also understand how those rivers, mountains, and all the ecology systems those are working. Probably we are sitting in our cabins, we only can look for an engineering kind of solution. So thanks for giving us the eye opener that yes, as a whole, we need to think for more sustainable ecological systems. As a community, it is our duty to learn about the importance of all those things and share it with the people, especially for the next generation. As a part of CIOs India, I am thinking of creating a separate channel for these kind of discussions so that we can take it forward. Thank you for showing us the mirror and motivating all of us. We will touch base with you and see if we can contribute to your mission as a community or as an individual level. So thanks for this enlightening lecture today. Thanks to Mrs. Bala, Shri Ram for gracing this occasion. Thanks Arya ji. Thanks Mittal ji. Thanks Annie for coordinating for this wonderful program. Thanks Sunil for this wonderful moderation as always. Thanks to all the EC members of CIOs of India, and thanks to all of you who came today. So whatever you have learned, I would request you share it with the people through any channel, whether it is a social media. Share it with your family, share it with your friends. We have also recorded this session. We will also share it with you. But the important thing is that these kind of reflection should come back to the society. And as a community, if we can train one person, if we can contribute towards a better sustainable future, it would be good for all of us. Thank you all for coming.
If I could just make one point.
Yeah.
Final point. You know, in our homes and in our factories and wherever, in our institutions, we are very much bothered and worried कि हमारा पानी आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है. But how many of us ever bother कि जो पानी निकल रहा है वो कहाँ जा रहा है? So we want to be sure कि भाई मेरे को सप्लाई मिले, बट मैं डिस्पोजल कर रहा हूँ उसको क्या हो रहा है, इसकी मैं कोई चिंता नहीं करता. बस ये मेरी रिक्वेस्ट है कि let us within our own systems, let us now start looking at कि मेरे यहाँ से निकला हुआ पानी कहाँ गया, अब किस सिचुएशन में, किस स्टेट में. अगर ये चीज हमारे अंदर आ जाए, I think a lot of difference can happen. Thank you.
Yeah, just a sentence from my side. Sir, from my side, as a RWF president, for last 2 years, I am ensuring every drop of water goes to the conserve water bed via these water harvesting systems. That's much I am doing for my Janakansa community.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful session. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Shyam, for joining. Thank you.